First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and tell me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but I get sick of these guys complaining. These young guys, they never call us and say, when a coach is wrong, I'm going to call him out. But when players are wrong, I'm going to call them out. But listen, I'm going to criticize guys if they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, y'all? Happy Sunday. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, episode 11, season 4. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're tuned in and ready because I have a very special guest. Before we get into the video, there is some things I need to say up front. I do want to take this opportunity to thank Rashard Milligan for joining me last night in episode 10 of the podcast. Great episode. We're kind of coming towards the end. We're already at the end of baseball. So right now, just be football, college basketball, and NBA. So that'll be it. I'm hoping to have more people as guests on the podcast going forward. But ladies and gentlemen, I have a special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, he needs no introduction. Welcome, Mr. Comedian Hendrix.
Appreciate you.
Thank you for joining me. Let's see where we got people in the comments. Hey, Lucinda. Here you go with Stephen A. And look, it goes well with the cast.
Lucinda,
that's in the building.
Day to day, you heard me. You heard me. What's going on, y'all?
Oh man! But let the people know who you are. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hey, I'm comedian Hendrix. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Nate been over here doing his thing all season. So, I actually had some words about you in my, video the other day, man, because I'm like, as far as doing what you do, man, it's strong over here, and this chat be strong sometimes. We be there, and you actually, depending on a lot of stuff, I actually watch sports late, so it's in perfect time. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people actually watch their news when they get home, when they do stuff. So appreciate you for that. But for the most part, just a comedian out here trying to do my thing, We live out in Michigan, trying to get down there, down south. I don't know where you from, Nate, but I'm just trying to get down south, get some things going. But for the most part, been rocking up here. Got a studio where I do photography, videography. I'm also a comedian, and I do bath bombs, Sophie's Miracles. Check us out on Instagram.
Okay. There's some more people popping in here. Michelle, what's going on? Good to see you.
Chill in the building.
Family Mackie, what's good, bro? What's good? So, Hendrix, I wanted to get you on here because, I've been following your channel for quite some time, and you seem like a really well down to earth person that just wants to make people laugh, smile, just to brighten somebody's day. And as my first question was, where did the idea of you being a comedian, where did that start?
Really, my whole life, I've always had that, like to where I realized that was my calling. So even it kind of went through a hard time, but I realized when I was in school, I went to a different school and I had all these weird friends, a lot of seasonal friends. And I'm like, dang, people really only come to me for the good times. But when it's some whatever and they doing good, people tend to, kind of brush you off a lot of the time, So it's like, that's where I really learned to look at people, learn who you bring in, learn who you whatever. But that's kind of where I started really gravitating towards being the funny guy. Because even my teachers, like I wasn't a nuisance, but I was, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't bad, but I was just funny, So it wasn't like I got kicked out of class all the time. It was like, all right, Landon, you going too far, or you went too far today, So, but other than that, that was where it kind of started. But to be honest, when I went on stage, I had a friend. It was comedian RJ Leary. So I'll give my shout outs, my old business partner, you know what I'm saying? Ended off kind of weird, but we didn't talk. We got things back together, man. I always give my dues and pay my dues where it is. But he took me to, do my first show. And we was on with a dude that just won. He just won Heart of the City. And I forget his name. His name is Michael something. Scales or something. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but he's like a big, huge dude, bald-headed, but there was only 3 people that won it. And he was one of those 3 people. So we went and did a show with him. And before I went on stage, he was like, yeah, like I went on before him. And he talked to me like, it's your first time? He's like, damn, man, they don't usually bring people for their first time to go on before me. So he had kind of like made me a little nervous, but I got on stage, I did my thing. And since then, he came up to me after the show. He was like, bro, you made me switch up my whole routine. Because I usually talk about this. But now I felt like, because my whole routine, I did like some Eddie Murphy and I talked about like poop the whole time. So I'm like, because I got IBS, so I thought it was funny. So I'm like, all right, I got this IBS. I'm going to go in here and joke about this and my kids and whatever. And it worked. The whole audience was crying. So he switched his setup and started talking about his stories with his stomach. So he was like, bro, that was all you. I didn't even plan to do that. I have a whole different set. So coming from him, he just won this Kevin Hart show and was touring and doing whatever. I'm like, all right, that lets me know I'm on the right track. And even though a lot of people don't start off like that, my homeboy, that's why I say I always got to give him props, because he put me in the space to be like, if you're going to do it, you're going to go hard or you're going to go home. You're not going to go and do no open mic so you can test and see how funny you are. That's not what we're going to do. I'm going to put you in a crowd with 100-some people at a bar you ain't familiar with a whole bunch of other people. And we're going to see, because if you don't make them laugh, you're going to be in trouble. That's really what it would. If you don't make them laugh, we're going to be in trouble. So it was just.
Right. For sure. So, my next, I guess the trend, kind of a sub question under that is, besides those, those that you worked that got you into the comedian scene, what about on the celebrity side? Who would you say did you look up to like Richard Pryor, Kevin Hart, Steve Harvey? Like who did you look up to, Krista? Like,
I would say, and see, this is the thing, bro. This is how, always remember, as a comedian, you always got to remember where you at. But then you got to take that side rebuttal. Hold on, Nathan, because it ain't no way y'all gonna be in here talking about some cookies while we in here trying to do this interview. See, they be trying to throw you off. I got you. And that's what it is, bro. Because the thing is, and I don't know if you realized it, but since you didn't, in a market yourself, everybody notices when you come out of your shell a little bit. And so even when we've been watching you, you've been progressing and you've been whatever, but that night when you hit that 100 and it was like a week later, bro, you just progressively have been moving, and certain stuff that comes in this chat you're not caring about. So we always try to do whatever to bring you out of that shell and loosen up, and it's always whatever, but we call love, you know what I mean? But
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. But we do want some cookies. So Lucinda, while you sending the thing in they gonna make a fun for some cookies. We getting our damn cookies, Nate. I guarantee you we gonna get some cookies. She ain't dropping the cookies in the chat. But anyway, man, with it, a lot of, I would say when I grew up, it's one of those stories where like a kid listened to Red Fox before he was supposed to. So they had the little JJ went on that show. I forget what it is now, but like the funniest comedian, whatever it was, Comic Search on BET with the Bill Withers or whatever his name is. But little JJ won that. And so me being a little kid around the same age, I'm like, damn, I can win that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a possibility in this world. So going up, and that's not to say he was my idol or anything like that. That's just the first person that showed you that being a kid from the hood, you can do something being funny, So with it, I started watching Def Comedy Jam. It was funny. Bobo Lamb. It was Chanel Ferris. You're talking about all of these people that were on this show. And growing up, and even Chris Thomas, he used to host the show. There's so many different people, I can't even get into it. But now when I'm in the world of comedy, I realize a lot of these people were from Detroit. And so when you go into this world, you notice like a lot of the people that inspired me are the same people that I'm doing comedy shows with. So a lot of my flyers in the last few years, you've seen shows with, his name is Frank. I forget his name, but Chanel Ferris, Bobo Lamb. I mean, it's there's a plenty of them out there, but they were all people that used to be on BET. And so, and then, like I said, I always give my shout outs because my bro, he was the person that put me into this world. You know what I mean? So when we're not doing the little stuff. And so that's what people got to realize. If you're going through it and you're trying to be mid-30s doing something, you got to throw yourself in uncomfortable situations. Because if you're not used to being uncomfortable, it's not going to work. For real. Like, he made me be used to being uncomfortable. Like, I will write a whole thing on the way to Detroit. I have it written the whole, 2 days before. Then the day of, I'd be sitting there like, okay, I'll write some more stuff. And then I get up there and forget all of it. And then just be so natural. It's like, you just have to really learn to work with being whatever. You got to learn to work on the fly, like if somebody pulls you off in your podcast with the cookies, you got to learn how to fly and then incorporate the cookies now. You see what I'm saying? So now we got the cookies in the podcast. Like I told you we was getting cookies. So this is what I'm saying. I'm a man of my word. Always stay a man of our word. They still dropping cookies in the chat.
Yeah, I see it.
As a sports guy, it's probably going to be your emoji, but it's cool because you have established your internet emoji until it changed. My internet emoji changed twice. So that's you. But even with that, Kevin Hart was a real big one too. Because Kevin Hart came out and did it like nobody really could. He did it like a Chance the Rapper kind of way.
Right, I agree.
Yeah, the industry kind of keeps one on top, and we all know how that story goes and whatever with entertainment. But he did it a different way to where it's not, we don't have to kind of dig at people. We don't have to do this. We don't have to go at people. You still can, but it's funny. So I tell people my comedy is like a Ellen DeGeneres sort of comedy because people say Ellen DeGeneres will talk about you, but won't talk about you. And that's her style. Like she'll be like, oh yeah, that's a perfect dress that you got.
Her job is to make her go laugh. Right.
Yeah, like that's it. It's not to make you feel like crap when you go home. It's to make you laugh and be like, damn, you said that about my dress, Ellen. So with that, it's always like it's just learning how to make somebody laugh, but not making somebody hurt. You know what I mean? Learning how to talk about somebody's hair, somebody's figure, somebody in a wheelchair, somebody that can't move, somebody that whatever, but not making fun of them, but making them laugh. Because it's literally everyone wants to laugh. That's all you got to do. And once you realize that everyone got to laugh, it's a way to make everyone laugh. You just got to figure it out without being disrespectful. That's real. Because I'll be damned. It's just one thing. And now that I thought about it, I love everybody in this. Well, I'll save it till later. I got jokes, Nate. Go ahead. I got jokes. So
I'm gonna kind of on the spot with this question. So when you look at these climate of society and comedy, I think there's a now like lines that you can't cross when it comes to comedy, like with Dave Chappelle, for example. Like as a comedian, how do you know when not to cross that line, particularly in today's climate?
The thing is going to be, it really depends because you can't come on you can't come on the scene and do something that you haven't been doing. You know what I mean? So I can't come out today and just start a whole slew of whatever. Like if I've been doing that and that's what people noticed about me and that's what people whatever, honestly, in today's society, this isn't right or this isn't whatever, but in today's society, it'll still be right because he's always been doing that. For sure. People had a lot to say about, Dave Chappelle, or even with the B word, as far as whatever, and people referencing it to, females. And it's off topic, I know, but Fat Joe did it, and it was like, oh my goodness. But the Locks battle was the best battle ever besides the Local Liddy and Henny battle. You know what I'm saying? Like that was Local Liddy and Henny battle was way up here. But the Locks was right there. And nobody said anything about how he came up there and said, where my, and it was a whole start of a song. Like, so the thing is, but people said, but he's so used to, he always, no, that's not, if you're going to say about one, it's about the other. But anyway, when you go back to it, it's just a thing, to me, it's a fine line. And really, it's really not a thing to cross because people, that's like, you know how they used to tell you, don't talk about religion, don't talk about certain things, you know, just in regular conversation because it's not good, or don't do it at work, don't talk about pay, or, you know, so it's kind of making it to where that's in that same classification. You know what I mean? Like, we can't talk about and amongst other things, this isn't just the one thing, but it's making it now the world is making it to where we're adding these things into conversations that shouldn't be talked about. You know, like maybe we shouldn't talk about property because people get pissed off about property. Like, I know 2 people that get pissed off about a property line. And you have no idea about it. Like, do not bring that up. You know what I mean? So it's certain things that we just honestly shouldn't talk about and we should stay away from. But if people know you and they know where your mind is and they know that you're not that type of person, it shouldn't be ever like that. If that makes sense. Like,
yes,
like Captain Neal, but he asked about it. If you see what I'm saying? Like, he asked somebody before he did what he did to ask if it was respectful. So that's the kind of thing I do. And I had a joke that I did, and and this was just last year, but I told people, I was like, hey, this is my whatever. The dude on stage before me messed up. So he went where you talking about. Like, he totally went the opposite route, but nobody knew him. So it was like, oh my, why would he come down here and say this? Why would he? And people are mad. And I'm like, hey, y'all, calm down, calm down. And like, I wouldn't be mad, you know, like I don't have nothing to do with whatever, you know, like my thing is if I put a spoon in a drawer and it come out as a fork, I'm gonna ask questions. That's all I got, but I'm gonna still eat my damn cereal. Are you see what I mean? That makes the thing, and it makes it a difference to where, you know, I'm not doing whatever, but even that, it just kind of lightened the crowd, it lightened whatever, but I don't mean anything. I don't whatever. And people know me, you know, so that's just where my mind is.
Okay. I like that. Really quick, let me just look at the chat. I saw earlier.
He got the cookies in the chat.
They're all over the place. Vicky McCowan's Corner was hello. How are you? Good to see you.
Ms. Vicky, welcome to
Thank
the
you
live.
for joining. Chatting with Common Sense. What's good?
We got chat in the live, y'all.
I saw Lady Shay in here. Lady, what's going on?
Lady Shay and Nizzle in the building.
So, well, Lucinda actually stole my question, but not your other dream career that you had aspired if being a comedian did not work out.
I've always wanted to be a dancer. So, you know, on Broadway type. I used to be able to sing. No, I'm kidding. Hey, look, neighbors over there. But no, to be honest, that's why I do my chip stuff. My uncle, I always wanted to be a news correspondent. So my uncle ran the news station here in Flint, ABC 12, and then he switched over and then started running other news stations down in Kalamazoo and Detroit and that way. So with it, I've always had that background of, you know, the news and what things should look like. And so that's kind of where everything came from. You know, I with the graphics and with everything else, that just kind of came as I got older. You know, that's something that I kind of wanted to look at. My dad did photography, that different sort of stuff. But for sure, bringing it all back, I've always wanted to just work for the news or bring people to news or, you know, something like that. So even like broadcasting, doing sports, but I want to be the person that's at the show. You know, I want to be the person that's goal, like that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but Ren Rock in the building. What's going on, Ren Rock?
Ren Rock was good, bro. Turbo from Breaking. So I kind of wanted to get to the dancer like Chippendales or Fred Astaire.
I'm gonna be dancing like Fred Astaire.
Keep going. Appreciate you, Elliot. What's going on, bro?
Thank you coming in.
What's going on? Elliot, you still owe me a video. You and Cam, we need to link up with that. So I wanted to transition a little bit to I know you're from Flint.
Yes, sir.
I know your community has been through a lot last few years, particularly with the whole water thing. Like, how did you use your platform to have you ever use your platform to help your community through that rough period of time? Like,
I would say during the time that I have done, like we've done different. I used to do a thing called Fly Side, and so even with that, like it was kind of the same thing that was before this. But doing that, doing the comedy that we do, like we always kind of donate stuff. We do stuff around the city. We throw free shows, but with the crisis in itself, it's more of a. I wouldn't say that I've ever brought comedian L Hendrix into that. That's always been kind of like my fight the power side, if that makes sense.
Right.
So I'm not, so I'm vigilante L Hendrix when I go out there. You know what I mean? So we've had different things. Like I remember before we had it to where the trash pickup, we had a halt and trash pickup and all this other stuff. So trash was just backed up and you got bags of trash down there. So people was like, hey, let's go throw them in City Hall. So we done went all down to city, that type of stuff. So it's like, we all take care of it. So like that type of stuff will make you go there. But the water, even with that, like I said, that's a whole different, that's a thing that even till this day, I have a lawyer that has been messaging me about the crisis. Like, and it's been the last week or so, and they keep sending me these messages, and I'm like, and it's the same person. So it's stuff that's still going on. Pipes still ain't fixed. I mean, but when it comes down to anybody marching, anybody whatever, like I got all the footage. Like we see all the stuff downtown. We help organize a lot of the stuff downtown. I've taken videos of a lot of the stuff downtown and even other places, but the places where the police, really kind of help you out be downtown. But with it, like I said, we do a lot, but there's only so much you can do. And especially when you raise money and then it's supposed to go somewhere and then it's not there. Right. So because I don't have $54 million or $582 million, but if I did and I gave it to somebody and it wasn't there, I got questions and I need something to happen. You know what I mean? Like that's a different question for me. So it can go deeper, but I'll just leave it with that politically correct.
No, for sure. No, I respect that. So like when did you make the decision to expand outside of Flint and Detroit? Where was your first really big break outside of Flint or Detroit?
We went up to, so Michigan, y'all, I'm right here. I don't know how my hand, well, I guess my hand look like it do on the screen right here. My hand, we live right here in Michigan, okay? We went up right about here, all right? So when I'm looking I was trying to look at the distance. So we done drove up about 3 hours right here. Don't nobody go up here, okay? Don't nobody, unless you going to Mackinac Island or something like that. You just drive straight there. You don't go nowhere else to stop, if that makes sense. So you don't really see anything. It's just a lot of woods. There's places to stop, but it ain't you don't really see, it's a lot of this. No. So we went to a place. It was a bar. A dude called us. He was like, man, I'm going to give y'all such and such, like $300 a person. You come out, do the show. I'm going to check you guys out. And we like, okay, where's it at? And he sent us the address. I'm like, damn, it's 3 hours and 30 minutes away. And when we looked at it, it was just up there. So we like, oh, shit. Like, no. Excuse my language, Nate. I didn't be on.
No, you're fine.
Hey, look, we like, ooh, bleep. What is going on? Look, I'm going to have a button next time I come on your show so I can I'm going to be honest. I'm going to do that for you because I never realized how much I ran it this way.
Right.
I do that in front of teachers too. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, we drove there and we got in there, we walked in. When we're driving, when we're driving up, I started taking the video. I'm like, y'all, if I find it on my Facebook, every year it pop up, I'll post it on my whatever. But I'm like, y'all, this ain't safe where we at. Like these gas stations ain't safe where we at. Like I filmed the gas station that didn't look right, like at all. Like we wasn't stopping for gas. Now I was like, yeah, and it says it's over this way. And there was nothing there. It's just dirt roads and just whatever. It looked like Highway 69 or whatever the heck it's called.
Right.
But we pulled in and it's like on the other side of this crappy building was this nice house type thing, whatever. It was like a nice big bar. So we walk in, it's a plush bar, all this other stuff. And it's people everywhere, like the whole city, wherever they at, then came out to this bar for this event. And the people came up and they're like, yeah, you want some pie? And like only thing I could think about was life in my head. I'm like, oh my goodness, I remember this like, and my friend, and he looked at me. I promise you, my friend looked at me like I'm about to say it. And it's like, no, you better not say nothing about these pies. But we went up there a couple more times, and he always say it. He'd be like, "Yeah, bro, I'm about to get one of these such and such only pies," So, but we went up. Each one of us, we got paid to do. I think it was 45 minutes apiece, and then my boy headlined. He got a little bit more, but he did like an hour and a half or something like that. When I say we rocked the show out, like it's people, they were like older people, not really a lot of you had younger people, but really older people, homeowners. You could tell like just a lot of just the city was there, but the older portion or whatever, man, that was a good time. And that was one of the best times I done had doing like these people so welcoming. They done made us a whole dinner. We got on stage. What do y'all want to eat? We like, what? My homeboy, he heavy set fella. He like, man, like, do y'all got chicken? They like, I can do smothered chicken greens, this and that. So like, we stayed and ate a whole like roast chicken meal. I don't know what, right? But it was a good time. Only I perform and leave, so that lets you know something.
Okay. So Michelle is asking if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Anywhere in the world. Ooh, I've never really thought of that. I wonder, is it a place that I'll let you decide, Nate. Is it a place that I've been and I want to go back, or where I've never been? I'll let you decide that.
You've never been to.
Okay. I'll say I can't. I gotta watch my answers with certain people. They be trying to let me see. I would say honestly, somewhere connected to the US. So either down or up, either way. More down than up because it's warmer that way, but it's less safer that way.
For sure.
Like, so you risk your safeness for the warmness, but anywhere attached to the US this way. But I would say somewhere in Mexico, maybe past, I don't know what's past, Mexico, Brazil, Puerto Rico, the islands, somewhere, just like that, where I can go and chill, but it's safe.
Okay. I got you. Michelle said that was not a trick question.
That was a trick question.
Really, really quick. I saw Lee. Lee was good. Welcome.
What's going on, Lee?
Elliot. Okay, cool. No problem, brother. I got you. I kind of wanted to revisit, go back. So I know you also do photography as well. So how do you incorporate photography and being a comedian? How do you incorporate the two of them?
You mean on a day-to-day basis, or like how am I using them both to?
How to get for you to get noticed, and then two, how do you tie it with, for example, social justice or just random photography? Like, how do you tie them with everyday life, if that makes sense?
With it, I would say really with everything, the photography, with everything, and even just to get noticed, like Flint is just different. So you got to do things different here, to be honest with you, than you probably would have to do a lot of other places. Because you really can't just stand on the corner and promote yourself. So with it, you kind of have to be creative. And so I'm able to use my comedy in a sense to show a lot of my stuff from my photography. A lot of people go to my website. A lot of people look up my stuff just from seeing my shirts. I'm a walking promotion. So if you see me, I either have my comedian stuff on or I got my photography stuff on. Like today I got my family reunion, the tree of life tree, whatever shirt on, but I got my hat on. You know what I mean? So Hendrix Studio. So right. I'm always promoting myself. But even with the photography, it's kind of the same thing. When I talk, and I do a lot of my actually scheduled shows, like I talk about, and I tell clients I'm gonna talk about them, but I have a lot of stuff, like I talk I talk about in my comedy where I bring in, me just saying, hey, I had this type of shoot. If you're this type of person, you might not want to do this because us photographers talk about y'all. And then I also, as well as when I go to shoots, I get other clients from that. So like I'll be there and I'll just kind of, I forget what I said to this lady at we were at, and I was thinking of that the whole time. We were at this kid's birthday party last Saturday. And so she was eating a bite of something, but I got her. Gotcha. She was like, oh, you better not put that nowhere. I said, no, ma'am, I'm not going to put that nowhere. Unless you say I'm a bad photographer. Then this is going on Facebook. And so that's like, and she cried, And so the whole time, every time I come by, she looking like, no, y'all, he going to put me on Facebook. But to her, even with her being an older person, she held on to that and ran with it. So it was just fun. It was just funny to me.
Okay. I like that. So my next question is Hendrix, what are you talking about?
You're not even listening. Shut up. Listen. Don't even listen. See, and then you're gonna drop a cookie. Ain't nobody thinking about it.
So like when did the idea for you to start your YouTube channel? When did that come about?
That actually came, I got a phone call. So my YouTube channel actually started in like 2013, a long time ago. But when I started it, I just used it to put my videos on so I wouldn't lose them on Facebook. So like I just load my videos on and keep them private, or I keep them public, whatever, but I was the only person watching them. I never did anything with it. And then I got a call one day and it was like, hey, you want to come on our channel? I went on the channel. So again, I always give my props, so I went on their channel and then it kind of started from there. People were like, hey, you should create a channel. And from there, I just kept doing stuff. Dropped a chip video. People love the chip video, but that's kind of where all of that started. So took it more seriously. That was, I think, at the beginning of this year. So it started taking it more seriously at the beginning of this year. So.
What would on your YouTube channel, what would you say the most popular video, the most popular video that you ever done? You say, I think that's the best on your channel.
Ooh. Making me think. I had one where I did a stuffed chicken breast jambalaya. Yeah, and that was good. It was we put the jambalaya in the chicken breast and did the shrimp over the top of that. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was good. But other than that, I had a chip video as well that went pretty high. So they were like right, next to each other. As well with the battle videos, that was going up. So together, all together, if we consider the total view from that live, or if we was all on one channel, that would have been up there, because before Local Private at hers, it was up there. But even the music on both sides, it was different. Like my sound was kind of messed up, so you had to come over and whatever. But if we had everybody in one live, oh man, that would have been lit. So that was a good decision. You just figure out what your niche is and just keep rolling.
Michelle said, I haven't seen the jambalaya video.
And you won't. Oh, you can see it, though. I'll send it to you. I ain't putting it back up, though. That was a collaboration I did back in the day with some Kim folk.
Okay. So, like, so with you being a comedian, when did it click to, I know you said you wanted to, you didn't want to lose videos, but when did it click, okay, I can use as a comedian, oh, here's my YouTube channel to get myself out there more? Like, when did that click?
Really, I would say probably within a few weeks of actually going on that show. So, I went on there and then I just kind of started watching things. And the next day, I think it was actually a few days later, even the next day, they hit me up like, hey, come back on. People loved you. You need to start a channel. And so that's where it came from. But then seeing people that you don't know, I guess, come and subscribe to you is a different feeling. So from Flint, I could say I had like 23 people from Flint. And then, what was it? Yeah, I've had 23 people from Flint. And then when I started up, I had like 73 people. And that was within a few days, and this was a of me going in and being on this show and being on whatever and talking to people. And they're like, you need to start a channel. So I was like, okay, I'll post a video, you know. So once you realize how many people are coming over and what they're doing, then once you start getting that support, especially from people you don't know, you tend to keep rolling with what you're doing. You know something's right.
For sure.
Because to be honest with you, the people that you know can't support you all the way unless they doing everything. You know what I mean? Unless they doing everything, those ain't gonna be your main people that are buying from your business, that are booking your shows, that are doing this. It's gonna be the other 999.0000001% of the world that you don't know, and that's facts.
I got you. So I got a 2-part question. So this is Michelle said, if you could talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say? And then the second question would be, what gives you the drive to do what you do?
If I could talk to my 18-year-old self, it would be a problem. It would be a problem. I probably would just come up and hit myself in the face, to be honest with you. I don't really have time for it's a lot of things that you never really notice. And even I was trying to explain this to my homeboy the other day. Hopefully, I was about to say, y'all in there. Hopefully, okay, she got it. All right, you get nervous. But I don't know. I would probably go up and just punch myself in the face, to be honest with you. It's a lot of stuff that you do when you're younger, you don't realize. And like I said, I was telling my homeboy, you're not really going to be able to tell your kids either, because your parents was never really able to tell you. You just kind of really had to go through it. But I don't know. It would be a lot I'd tell my 18-year-old self, but I would kick his. I would fight him. That'd be the first thing. And then I would tell him about life. I would fight him. But what drives me? What was the question?
What drives you? What drives you to, like, what you do as a comedian and also as a YouTuber? Like, what gives you that drive to just persevere every day? Because, like, I know, and if you don't want to talk about this, okay, I've seen there was a couple moments on your channel where there was some, I don't know, it's beef, disagreement, miscommunication between other YouTubers. Like, like your perseverance, like how do you, like, what drives you?
The thing is, when you are self-made, to be honest with you, like I brought myself up twice from nothing. So one time I didn't have no kids, the other time I did. So bringing yourself up from nothing to something, or even making a name out of yourself. If I go in the street and have my camera, I can, do this. I can make a certain amount of money. Or if I got my laptop, at least I can post a job listing with my laptop and do logos and this and that. So it's like, I always have that drive to be able to do more. I always have that, I don't know. It's just always something in me just thinking about more, ready to do more. I was even thinking, if you like cookie shirts, I'm like, shit, you get the cookie shirt with Kobe dunking the cookie or something. Like, it's all types of different stuff that could be made, but everything in my mind is a different opportunity. I make that a different opportunity. My kids drive me. So as far as life now, when I look at my kids, I know that there's a better way. I need to do something different, so I can't go back to the streets. I used to be a hood dude, Nate. It wasn't for me, though. I noticed it real quick. I was not hood when it got too hood. So, yeah, once it got too hood, I removed myself, and I realized even working for somebody else, I'm just not that person. I could, but I'm going to be an a-hole. Like, I'm not going to be the right employee for you.
Right.
I'm there for the money. Yes, I am. Like, I'm going to wear all of my gear. I'm going to have Hendrix Studios Jordans on. Everything gonna say Hendrix.
Hendrix Studio Jordans. I like
what
that.
Is
I like
going
that.
in here right now. You said steel toe boots. You didn't say how they supposed to look.
So, but Lee has a question for you. Do you see YouTube as a mainstream occupation, future-wise, or a stepping stone to other occupational passions? That's a good question, Lee.
That is a very good question. You can use it. I'm gonna answer this. I'm gonna answer this a different way. I do. Put the question back up there for me. Let me hold it so I can just.
Yes, sir.
I would say, as far as a mainstream occupation, it would take a lot more, So if I saw it coming a lot more, to be honest with you, then you know what I mean. Like if I saw the way to get in and do whatever, and then take away from what I'm doing, and that you know what I mean. Like if I could make everything happen on that end, then I would. To be honest with you, I love getting on here. Every day could be whatever. We always talk, we kick back and chat, so it's always fun when we get on here together. But I'll say it like this: it could be a stepping stone to whatever you want it to be. Now, since I done been on here, I done met people I done did bonnets with. I done met people like my girl live in Tennessee. I got my sis live in Tennessee. Shit, I got bro live in Tennessee. You know what I mean? So as far as even, I don't really mess with people. So there's another thing. The people around here, everybody's kind of, especially in the comedian world, it's a lot of not hostility, but everybody's for themselves. We all like each other, but we all want to be number one. Not me. Specifically, I want to work with everybody, but everybody want to be number one, so it's hard. So with it, if we all came together, then, and even on here, there's the second part to that. It could actually be a stepping stone to any occupation or any passion that you really want it to be. Because I've always wanted to work on TV, be in a movie, be wherever. So somebody could see this possibly and be like, "Hey man, that's N-Dog on Nate podcast. Like I'm gonna pull both of them on there. They should be my such and such." When I do this shot in my film, I want to have them talking about whatever in the background, So like that stuff is the stepping stone to other stuff. It's just when you do it right, it's a way to do it. And it's a way to not do it, So
for sure,
when you're positive, love always wins. When you bring in the negativity, it's always some stuff that comes with the negativity.
Yeah. To add on to that question, I think. For me, this is just part of my portfolio of what I want to do. My major is mass communications and journalism and media, so my focus is on radio and television. Because everyone says, "Well, you have the radio, you have the voice for radio," and I've always, for some reason, it didn't. Because when I was in elementary school, we used to have like these little morning announcement, like a little TV show. And every time I'd be in front of the camera, saying, "Oh, this is today's lunch menu," or "This is today's weather." "Oh, the Ravens won this game." And then in the middle school, for some reason, in high school, we never did it. I never picked up on it. But I've always had like the drive to talk sports, social politics. I think it's a stepping stone to what you want to do. I do think to some extent, I've noticed like the last few years, people use YouTube as a career because at one time, if you think about it, like everybody used to really be big with reacting like to different things on YouTube. Like that was really big. And now it's kind of hard because you got to maintain your status quo. And you also have to maintain it has to be a balance. I know some people, there are YouTubers that have like 9 million subscribers, and they're more for the money than YouTube. Like it's kind of like they're just making YouTube videos because they know they're going to get 1,000 likes, 30,000 views. So I think it's a blessing and a curse, honestly and truthfully, when it comes to that. So
how do you feel about all of the with it, just while we on, how do you feel about even like the new stuff that they're doing to try to make it more personal, for everybody on YouTube, as far as that even?
I think it's uncalled for. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Rashad Milligan. He told me there's room at the table for everyone to eat. I think the one thing we forgetting is supporting each other, because we all have one common goal. We always say like support small businesses. support Black content creators.
Mm.
Because I just don't really see the whole benefit of getting personal, because again, your actions have consequences.
Mm.
And I with your situation of a few months ago, like that just blew out of proportion.
Mm.
And the way how I look at it, if there's an issue, if you're not liking what I'm creating, okay, you don't have to watch my video.
Right.
I tell people all the time, like, if you don't like my channel, you
Right.
don't have to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody else that does the same thing, probably just maybe the same, just like me. If you don't like what I've said, like, okay, like, we can all be diverse in thinking, we can all have opinions, but when you get personal, you have to be careful, because again, like I said, it has consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there are those that do any. So, Renrock asked, "Hey Hendrix, do your kids think you're funny when you're home, or are you the dad at home?"
Both. Because my kids be getting on my nerves. They just like me, bro. So they're like little Hendrixes, and that really bothers me. So I don't know. I'm both, man. I gotta say I'm both. Are you the dad at home? But when I gotta be, I'm just a Black parent. I'm gonna be honest. I'll wake you up out of your sleep if we having a versus and it's too lit. I'm gonna wake you up, or not a versus. We having a party, it's too lit, and we all listen to that Michael Jackson. I'm gonna wake you up out your sleep and say, "Hey, come do that Michael Jackson for everybody." He'll get in there and do his little thing. But other than that, if you act bad, I'm gonna get you in the room now. You better sit your down. Like I'm still a Black parent, Nate. I gotta be that person. So it's how we was raised, but it gave us structure.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming, or act like I know this was coming, because I did it.
He's not lying, though, ladies and gentlemen. He's not lying.
Hey, look, with Steven, though.
So Michelle wanted to ask, what can we look forward to seeing from both of your channels in the future? Any plans to Vlogmas? I'm not sure if that's regarding like Christmas, Michelle.
Vlogmas? What is the Vlogmas? Is that where you put a video up every day up until Christmas or something like that?
I think so. Okay, so what else do we got here? That's true. There's already exactly, Michelle. There's always room at the table.
Yeah. I'm gonna be trying to come out with different stuff, keep up different content, get more consistent, but it's really, even with the holidays coming up, it's kind of hard because even like, let's say November is always a slower month. When school starts, it's always a slower month.
Yeah.
For some reason, October is always a busier month. And
so for some reason, after Labor Day, it's always slower.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know why, even at businesses, at whatever, anytime you start seeing all them signs and whatever and the good deals,
yep,
is really, so they trying to pull you in places. So November is normally slow. It's just a lot of promotion and catching up and doing this and getting things ready for December. But it's like I'm busy doing that. So then, and I still got stuff I'm doing. So when December comes, I'm definitely going to be busy. But then beginning of the year going to be slow, so everything has its moment. But it's like, if I can figure out whatever, even going live with people, like I said, like you do every night, getting on here, talking to everybody, letting us know what's going on in the world, what your thoughts are. I told somebody, I'm like, he can break down any team in the world. I guarantee it. I don't know what team you don't know, but that's, it's something about what you do, and it's something about what I do that makes people want to come and watch it. So it's like, hey, why not?
For sure. Hendrix, do you hope that one day that one of your kids will continue your legacy in comedy? Good question, Renrock.
If I am able to make it, I want my kids to be better than me. So even with what I have, like, it's no reason why I don't have like a Ferrari outside, and you know what I mean? Like, I should be sitting right now in a hot tub with a cigar talking to you, like with with a gold chain on. You know, like that type of
Montana,
stuff.
like.
Yeah, like with chest hairs. I should already have chest hairs right now. I shouldn't. They grow after a certain amount, but it's like they should just be automatically grown. So, but with that, I want them to be able to get to that point to where, well, not so she should. Well, she should. So one of those dudes want to mess with. So, you know, but with that, I want them to be able to have everything that I didn't have growing up. If they want something, I want to be able to get it and be mindful, you know, that you can't have everything, but some things are necessities to have, in a sense, you know what I'm saying? Like, just to let people know. Like, sometimes, Nate, you just got to stun on them up. That's what you got to do. You got to stun on them. There ain't nothing you can do. But, you know, I do. I hope that one day they continue something. If he want to do comedy, or if A want to do comedy, or she want to do comedy, that'd be cool. But, you know, you need to be, I hope I'm at a space to where I can give them the higher level version of everything. You know what I mean? I want to take them to,
for sure.
I want them to Steph Curry the game. I don't want him to Dale Curry. What is that he named? Dale. I don't want him to Dale Curry. I want him to Steph Curry. You see what I'm saying? So Dale was
what about Seth Curry? His brother.
Hey, look, they're both good to me, honestly, but one gets shadowed. One gets, you know, over. And that's honestly, he has a good jumper. It wasn't his, if I'm not mistaken, no, I'm gonna be lying. Because I believe at one point in time, he had either more threes or like his 3-point percentage was higher at a certain time.
Yes, it was.
You see what I mean? Like, it's like, why aren't we talking about this? But he don't got no, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You didn't do the move. He didn't do the move where he went through and then went between his legs, grabbed the ball, turned back around, and went through, then hopped back like this and shot it at the three, like in between 4 people. Until you do that, you're not on top. That's all I gotta say.
That's fair. That's fair. Peanuts asking on some real ish, what do you like more, photography or designing?
Ooh. It all depends, because if I design and you know what you want, it really doesn't. They both can be stressful. I would say probably designing, because I'm able to do more of what I want. It's just more of a creative process. It takes longer. But even with photography, it's a creative process and it takes long. So, actually, I had to go with photography, man. Because really not even photography, the videography portion of everything. If I'm able to do a video, then I'm in heaven. Like, I can go through, do whatever I got to do, put the chop scenes in there. I can make your head cut in half, come back, you know, do all of this, explode, and it came back to life, you know. So anything I need to do, I'm able to do it through that. But I would say that's my best.
Okay.
My best one. BT in the building. What's going on, BT? I hope everybody shared it out on the YouTube tab.
He has another question for you. How will you use your talents, personalities, and originality to separate you from the current YouTube status quo?
Really, Lee, it's about realizing where you at. And so even when I go other places, like I don't normally act the way I act with y'all. But it's just depending on, it's like realizing where you at. So, you know, depending on what sector you're in, or, you know, YouTube now, you know, it really does have sections, or if you do kind of like commentary, or you do certain stuff, you're in certain sectors, you know. So with it, it's kind of realizing where you're at. And even with it, one day I realized, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a bad video. And not even a bad, if I gotta cuss or if I gotta do whatever, talk about somebody like that, it's a bad video to me.
Right.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I gotta do a bad video, I lose some people, but I'm gonna do it. And then I did it. And I gained like 50 people. And I'm like, what is going on right now? You see what I mean? So it's like, you have to realize certain things like that and where you at. But then, like, if you gain 50 people and you in a sector that's about killing people, your whole, you know what I mean? And your whole 50 people is ready to get down, you know? So it's like, you got to know where you're at, know where you get your people from. But it's I just want to be myself. I'm tired of and it's a lot of people that just want to do themselves. But you've
Right.
gotten stuck in the world of being either talked about and you're not talked about, so you want to be talked about, or you talked about too much. Like that's pretty much where we at right now. So but I'm gonna try to be, just be myself, keep it original. That's all I can do, man. That's all I can do.
Let me see the question again. How will you use your talents and personalities in a? I think like Hendrix hit it on the nail. Just being yourself. Like for me, like when I started making videos, well over 2 years. Next year in April, like I wanted to be something different. I didn't have all the luxury equipment that YouTubers have. Some do. I start off with a phone, YouTube. But I think it's just being yourself and like knowing like who you are and what you want to talk about. And all that. It's like your personality. Like some people will say I'm very monotone when it comes, and people say I'm funny when it comes to talking sports because I'm trying to mix. Like if I'm talking, for example, about the Washington Wizards, who like lost three games compared to Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, my tone's going to be different because it's
Expectation.
It's a balance. Expectation is a balance. It's a balance. It's hard. You got to find a balance. Hendrix, I'm an entertainer like you. Do you know when to turn it off sometimes, or do you just let it go? Good question.
Hey man, I've realized that sometimes you just gotta let it go. I'm gonna be real. My girl is a witness. Everywhere we go, I can't stop talking to people. And it's not a thing of being whatever. It's just a thing of being comfortable with everybody. So, I can't really turn it off. I try to. When you be at work, even it's a difference between being, hey y'all, hey look, my name L Hendrix, get my mixtape. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between doing that to everybody I see. But
that's a good one.
Being in a place where it's appropriate to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm here with y'all, if I'm at work and we in the break room, like, hey y'all, I'm about to kick a freestyle real quick. Like, tell me what y'all think. Because I used to rap. That's what I used to do, But even as a comedian now, it's like I can't just come up to you like, hey, like you old duck shoe habit. Like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta really think about it. And a lot of people aren't in that space to get it at that time. Like it's
right.
Somebody might be on the phone, somebody whatever, and it really can be off-putting to certain people too. So it's just noticing people's bodies, noticing where you at, noticing whatever. But for the most part, I let it go. Just appropriate. You know what I'm saying? Appropriate.
Okay. Red Rock had another question. How did you come up with the idea for your mini characters?
See if I can bring up some stuff probably ain't been talked about over here before. So I was smoking one day and I, laughing, having a good smoking laugh. And really a lot of this stuff came from high school. So I'm gonna be honest, I got an old lady character. I just ain't been able to implement it. I actually have, and I did it for a Chip episode. I just never been able to plug it in yet, where it's like the caller. So I got her calling the police. Then I got her calling into the news station, but it's just my old lady voice. Like it's a different character. It's not anything that I come on, but it's just the voice, So that even the Chip stuff, I was doing that in high school. But I actually have a clip from when I was in 5th grade. Have you ever watched Jamie Foxx show?
Yes, I remember. I loved Jamie Foxx shows growing up. Okay. I think like the first season. I couldn't. It wasn't like funny at first, but as like the season progressed, his show progressed. It became more funnier.
For real. No, I like that Braxton was one of my favorite characters. Jamie is.
Yeah, Braxton.
Hilarious. But they had an episode. No, go ahead. I'm listening.
My favorite episode. You go ahead. I want to hear what your favorite episode was.
No, I don't got a favorite episode. I'm about to tell you whatever to end that off. What was your favorite episode?
The episode was when they had to. It was Fancy, Jamie, and Braxton. They went on. They had to go on some like business trip for the hotel, and Jamie never got on the airplane. And oh my gosh, what was her name? I want to say it was what's her name? She played the flight attendant. Welcome to Keeping It Real Airlines Flight 187. The pilot that they had was drunk, and they had to fly the plane back to LAX.
Let's see.
Yeah, that was my favorite funny one. Yeah.
I have to go back. I'm trying to remember now. Because I was like, I remember one where he had to take a taxi somewhere because he had missed the plane. I don't know. It's so many, though. Jamie, it's so many. It's so many. But with it, he had a character where he did the news, and so when he did that, that's actually like he would be like, I'm such and such, and I'm still keeping it real. And so when I did,
oh, that's right, yeah.
So my uncle ran a news station in 5th grade. I went up there and we did like this take your kids to work day or whatever. And my dad was like, go with your uncle. So I went with my uncle and they let me do a news correspondent thing we went to the bank downtown, and then it was the Flint Journal. And so in the Flint Journal, they took all the videos. I interviewed people. And then when I got outside, I'm like, this is Landon Hendrix with ABC 12. And I'm still, keeping it real. And it played on the news. So
nice.
Ever since then, like I had this little thing. And so I would just come up with my own little characters and my own whatever. But later on, I actually did a clip. And I don't know if my name was Chip. It was something Gumble. But I remember whenever I saw Brian Gumble, that's when I kind of came up with his brother. And so I would always mimic the voice and do other stuff like that. And so then Chip came down the line. But it's I actually have Chip clips from like, I think it's 3 or 4 years ago when I came up with Chip. So I had a whole green screen. I green screened my whole room in my other house. Like, so no matter where you walk, it was just green screen, bro. It was just, I did every wall in paper. So, and that was a big room. Yeah, that was not good with my missus at the time. So, yeah, but a lot of creative stuff over smoking. That's it. That's the answer. Bam.
Wait. Okay.
Roll time.
Roll time. Hendrix, how did you feel, excuse me, when somebody you as a comedian?
It feels good. It feels good. Let me make sure. Yeah, no. Okay, cool. I gotta check and make sure I ain't doing nothing random on the live. You gotta just look over. All right. What was your question? Go ahead one more time. I want to make sure I get it clear and come out with
it. When you feel when someone actually recognized you as a comedian?
I would say it felt good. It's not because when you do something or you go out there and do whatever, you kind of want to be recognized in a sense. Like, especially if you're working hard at something. So you might be working at the Scrub-A-Dub doing cars, but if you really putting that buff and that wax on there, when you go out and somebody be like, hey, that's the buff and wax dude, you're going to feel good about yourself, So same thing with my comedy. It's like now I be in drive-thrus and it's crazy. Like I started recording it, but one day I'm going to make a compilation of these videos. I think it's compilation. I'm going to make a compilation of these videos, put them together. People been like, hey, you that dude?
Compilation.
Huh? Yeah, compilation. Okay. They're going to be like, hey, you that dude? Hey, you that dude? So I have like 3 of them right now. And then I got other ones where I just recorded them with people that have called me out and I didn't have my phone, So I'm like, hey, just do a shout out to my channel. So I have different stuff I do, but with a lot of the drama that comes, I really don't want to put people in those crosshairs either. So I'm just waiting, just waiting my time out. Just waiting my time.
Got you. Renrock is dropping questions. Shout out to Renrock. Hendrix, what was your worst performance on a comedian?
One day I was in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and it was all comedians, like in the crowd, just sitting in the back. And you walked in, everybody was right, and I'm like, "What is this?" They like open mic, So I thought it was weird. I'm like, damn, now I'm gonna get up here and all these people gonna take all my jokes. That's really how I felt about it. And the whole time I was up there on stage, people just writing, nobody laughed. So it was these 4 people up front. So I'm like, forget it. I ain't gonna tell my jokes. I'm gonna go through and just do this comedy, you know, just my own type of thing. So I started talking about the one dude. I'm like, hey man, where you work at? Such and such. Yeah. Then we talk about him. And I go through to the girl next to him. I'm like, yeah, you know, such and such. Oh yeah, you know, yada yada yada. Everybody, you know, we're just kind of cracking up with these 4 people out of a whole room of a whole bunch of people that ain't laughing. Like literally, it was a U of people. They all was around, but the chairs where they were lined up, it was only 4 people like really watching the show. It was one dude that had the pad on his knee and was doing this the whole time. Like, I'm like, I know he right. But we went to the third person and the lady snapped on me. Like, I was like, yeah, ma'am, real quick. I was like, what's your name? She was like, why are you asking everybody about their life? Like, can't you just get a life? And I'm like, oh, damn. I'm like, all right, well, I appreciate y'all. Let me get out of here. It's weird here. I'm going to go ahead and go home. And then I just walked off stage and went home. So that was my weirdest night on stage.
Okay. Michelle wants to know what other YouTubers you partner with in the future.
Who would I partner with? I can't see. What did it say?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, would I like to partner with in the future?
Who would you like to partner with?
It all depends. Man. I got a lot of people that, whether big or small, I really don't care who it is. I like to, like I said, we can get a show popping, Nate, where we do reviews on actual live sports. Heck, I don't know, but different stuff. I would say with just different people. You know, I got the family and all that other stuff, but I would say even, you know, you got Sin and Walt, obviously, you know, you'd like to pair up with them at one point in time. Maybe B Sugar, you know, be able to do some photos at one of their events. Who else they got up? It's a whole bunch of people. Even my kids, they want to meet the Spy Ninjas. The Spy Ninjas live in Vegas, so I got to take my kids to go see the Spy Ninjas and find wherever they live at and run up on them. But yeah, I don't really. There's a lot of people out there. I mean, you got Tasha K. I mean, you got a lot of YouTubers that I think if they had a YouTube event, which I believe they probably do, and we just ain't invited to it, we would know, you know, that we would know these things. We just ain't exclusive enough. So I want to get to that exclusive event one day, and I'm going to get there.
Renrock had a question for me. Nathan, what was your greatest moment as far as doing podcasts? Wow. My greatest moment. As far as YouTube, I would say the response that I was getting on the videos as far as the views. I would say probably the best video I've done was after when Jacob Blake got shot. There's some interesting ones in there. But I think as far as like just the idea of getting the confidence from friends and even family to say, hey, you know, you're really good at this, start a YouTube channel. I never thought it would get to this far where, you know, plus subscribers now. Because at one point I think I just had 21. And then spent a few months to see where it's gone. Mm-hmm. You know, God works every day. So I think that's probably the most amazing moment is just seeing how this channel has grown and what it can be. So
how's it feel?
It feels good. You know, like at first it was like, okay, because there was a period of time where I was like at 60, like 54 subscribers, and it wouldn't, like, for some odd reason, when people sub to your channel, like YouTube takes subscribers away, which is weird.
If they don't watch the videos, they do.
And I was like, man, I think I'm just gonna be at this for a while. And then I just like, well, just keep making videos and put yourself out there more. Then I started seeing more growth. You know, and also too more feedback from friends and saying, hey, you know, improving this area, improving that area, clean some things up.
Mm.
Your channel, you'll have 100 subscribers soon.
Right.
So I think all those, before every video I start, I always thank those that support the channel, with comments. Like, for example, Lucinda, you, Michelle, Peanut. Like, also too, like, for me, like, this channel, when we were in the midst of a pandemic, there was a period where I went through mild depression. So this is therapy outside of work and school. Like, this is what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that's my project is creating this YouTube channel. I've always had this YouTube channel since high school, but never did anything as far as making a video up until last year at the start of the pandemic. So,
and to piggyback off of that, that is real. Because even with a lot of us, I've told somebody, I was like, not to even say we all got problems, but all of us came here for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got, like, you might have cut your cable off and turned YouTube on. Somebody came here for a reason. You know what I mean? So we all met here for a reason. And it is, you might have got called here. You might have got whatever. I don't know. You might have got drove to YouTube. I don't know, but you here. So,
right.
But to say with the pandemic, a lot of stuff that happened that people didn't expect, and it threw people off.
Definitely
even
did.
in Flint, I was like when you talking about moving and shows and banging in Detroit, moving back, like shows was coming like this. Money is like that, bro. And it's like going into the pandemic, it slowed down. And so you had to switch up and do straight online shows. And so people that really weren't funny, it's like, why am I sitting here? Like, when people are really trying to still in that spoiled mindset of I need everything now and I need whatever now. Because what it did was it slowed society down. Like right now, you're not as antsy as you were before. Like everything doesn't have to be right now like it was before. Like your phone, you might get pissed off if it don't load right away, but you bear it. That's real talk. Like you bear it right now. A year ago, if your phone stuttered, I can't even tell you. You know what I mean? Like a year ago, if you didn't get your Amazon package on the day when it was supposed to be there, and it came 2 weeks later, you getting a full refund and you keeping the package when it get there.
Yep.
Now you can't do neither one of those. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, that's a good point.
But you got to send it back, So, and it still ain't gonna get there for 2 or 3 weeks. Anyway, you might as well wait.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I got something my girl wanted to order. It ain't coming till December, so that lets you know it's like stuff just held up. But it switched everything up. It did take a lot of us to a point where we didn't know we were gonna go. So, I do want to say we all came here for a reason, and that's part of my reason as well. And I'm glad that I actually met all of y'all. Real talk, because I met you on here as well. Without meeting all of y'all, I don't know what I would be doing on a Sunday night.
Yeah, that's true. Very good point. Peanut once wanted to know: do you consider yourself a who's who in YouTube?
Would a who's who be like a name on YouTube? That's a who's who.
I'm not sure he did. Peanut, if you could elaborate on that question, would be great.
I would say, I think that's what he meant. I would say, even with that, I try to be as humble as possible. So I ain't no damn about it. I put my shoes and socks on the same way as anybody else does. But one day somebody told me, they like, when you look at whatever, or when people keep bringing you up, or when people such and such, like, you a celebrity in your own mind. So, like, it is what it is. They like, when I log on, I see something about you. Like, you ain't even logged on. There was a point where I didn't log on for days. Like, I didn't log on for days, bro. And I was getting subscriber, likes on all my videos. That whole month, I did nothing. Like, literally, I did, I think, maybe 2 videos in a month. And I hit the threshold. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hit whatever and some. Like, I was like, I'm not even doing nothing that I'm making. So it really shows you where you're at, where your support is, all that other stuff, too. So.
Right. VT had a question for me. Nate, did you believe that the Braves could actually win the World Series? Good question. Yes, on paper they had the roster, but when your best, arguably your best player, other than Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna Jr. goes down with a season-ending injury. The trade deadline they made, where they got Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, Adam Duvall, Jock Peterson. They didn't even have the Braves making the World Series because I was just like, okay, Braves actually they're still in this, but they're the example of how you should build a World Series team. It's amazing to me that Charlie Morton actually pitched with a broken leg in the World Series. He only lasted the one inning, but no, I believe they could win the World Series. They had the roster. It was just a matter of when. After last year, where they, especially when they got shellacked by the Dodgers.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming, or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
That I felt like, okay, the Braves they got to do something because I think it was like 10-0 in the first inning, and I was like, yeah, that's a wrap. But no, Atlanta. I felt like this was the year, especially after the great Henry Aaron passed away, and what this city, with the whole moving them out of the All-Star game from Atlanta, I felt like Atlanta had a chip on its shoulder. So I definitely feel like they deserve it. They definitely deserve to win that World Series. So Freddie Freeman is one of my favorite baseball players. Acuna Jr., Dansby Swanson, all great players.
I played baseball on the game now. I really do. I started playing. I told my girl, I was like, this is amazing. You never would think that baseball on the video game would be fun.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Renrock wanted to know, have you ever used comedy to get a girl?
I got it. I got it. Bam! Boom! Work! No, I'm just playing. You always, it's kind of like people singing back in the day. You always had your smooth pickup lines and all of that. So I can say back in school, I've always tried to be the funny person, maybe to do whatever. But no, even with my boo now, we vibe, we have whatever. But I can say I was a little funny, so that might have been one brought a friend.
I got you. So I want to know, Hendrix, Flavor Flav did a 911 joke. Do you think that one day you'll record a song that's funny like that?
It all depends, man, because that's even like who is it, Lil Duval?
Yes.
Doing a smile or living my best life,
Living my best life, yeah.
So, yeah, what people don't know is I used to rap though, or I think I said that earlier. Like I used to rap, so I'm actually real cold with it. Even on the live, I'm saving it because I had a whole freestyle I was gonna spit at the beginning of my verses live. When me and Loca did that little verses, I was gonna do it, but I didn't. I held back because I wanted to keep it for the next one, and I was drinking and forgot. So that's that's shout out to Crown Royal. But yeah, one day I might.
Okay. So because you're from Detroit, obviously,
from Flint.
You're Flint, but Detroit. I know you had to represent your Detroit teams, the Lions, Pistons.
We got the Flint Generals.
That counts.
The Flint Firebirds? No, Flint Firebirds.
That counts. But that's a junior. Isn't that a junior ice hockey team?
It is Flint Firebirds. Yeah, and on the video game, if you play NHL hockey, you can play as the Flint Firebirds. I was blown away by that.
Oh, that's right. You can't play like their minor league teams. That's right. I did forget about that. So, like, as a sports guy, like watching your teams, particularly the Detroit Lions,
relationship with your
Oh
children?
my God.
Oh,
How do you feel about that?
man, it's rough, but it's just something you got to get used to every year, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like putting your clothes in the dryer when you got to be to work. You know what I'm saying? Like you just wash the clothes, like you know they got to get a little more dry, but you got an hour left.
Yeah.
You like, I'm gonna throw them in the dryer, go hop in the shower, eat me something real quick. You like, man, I got 5 more minutes till I got to get out the door. Let me go throw these clothes on, and you forgot to hit the button. That's how the Lions roll, bro. It's like, I gotta go out here with this soggy smell today. Oh, gracious. Like, sit down in your car, you still feel it. It's like it just haunts your whole day. At first, you thought it was gonna be amazing. We was up by 30, but for some reason, open the dry. Had to open the dry. It was one person. You know, it's a curse. Do you know who did the?
Yes,
who started the curse?
Bobby Lane. I believe that's his name. Yes.
Bobby Lane started the curse on us. That was what, 52 years? No.
It should be broken by now because it's been
it still continues. That's what I was going. It's 52 years, I believe.
Wow.
It's 52 years.
Like.
Let me see.
I will say this about the Lions. You know, I think you got a good coaching staff. You do. Aaron Glenn, was one of the best corners back in the day. They've got promise. I just think it's your it's the ownership. I do. Yeah. I think they're owned by still owners of the Ford family. So to really sit there and think like haven't won since Barry Sanders. That's
in
crazy.
The Super Bowl. When you talk about a Super Bowl, that's a whole nother thing. So we're just talking about having won anything memorable since Barry. That's really, you know what I'm saying? But they say that was 1958. So it's been passed and we still messing up. So I guess maybe he doubled up on us. I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe he said it that day.
Right. Really quick, Peanut is asking, would you change your content or energy based on views, or would everything stay the same if you only got one view?
For me, you gotta switch up whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you notice that you talking to yourself or you notice whatever, you can do that. It is what it is because you're building the content on your channel. So when somebody goes to your channel, they see, like, let's say, what episode are we on right now? 11, right?
Yep.
We're on episode 11. But let's say if you go to season 1, episode 1, like it might not be nobody in there. You know what I mean? So he might have made that and then somebody went back to actually watch. Like, that's a creative thing to do. Because now you're on season 4, episode 11, like, or you done pulled up the last OG, but you want to see where it started at. You know what I mean? Like, so people usually go and search those videos out. So creating stuff, depending on who watching, if it ain't nobody watching, it don't matter for now. But when you get to that point to where it's hitting, people actually going back, you will see that. Because you'll be sitting there watching, and one day you'll go back to your old video and be like, man, I got 50-something views on it. Like right now, my old video, it had, I can't even remember. I don't want to pull it up now, but I only had 56 views for the longest. Like for the longest. I'm talking about an old video for the longest. And now I got like 213 views on it. So it's like people actually went back and watched my comedy stuff or a comedy set from way back in the day. So.
I would say, well, that's kind of like a two-part question. One, I think it all depends on like you against. For me, I like to talk sports, but I think it's also too where there's more than just sports. Like for example, what happened with again, like Jacob Blake, George Floyd. Like we had talk about that. I said that's probably the one thing. Like I said, okay, all right, but also too, I think it all depends. Like if you just go, hi everybody, my name is Nathan. This is what I like to do. People lose interest. Like if you get excited and you bring energy and creativity to the channel, I think that matters. Like I think the first few videos, I think I was getting probably less than 20 views. But I think when I started touching more like different social topics and then like, the sports thing I could definitely go into, that's when I noticed it more. Like when I started like doing the podcast thing, the first season was low key, like, okay. It was all like testing the waters because I didn't have an intro. I was still like learning StreamYard, StreamYard to a certain extent. And then I was like, okay, like season 2, okay, like this is what I need to do, this is what I need to do. But yeah, I think it all depends on what's your target audience, your content, and then and I think that. But I wanted to get back into sports. Like, do you see the Lions at any point? Do you see any relevancy? Because I really think you got a good core of players.
They're gonna end up moving that team somewhere.
No, I can't see that.
They're gonna move the team, bro. I mean, well, maybe not. The thing is, we got so much heart here that we fill out. Like the stadium fills out. There's no like everybody's going to the Lions game, so we got too much heart here. The forwards make too much daggone money, especially Martha. She up there just controlling whatever she want to. But with I don't know, man. I'll just say it like this. It's a tough question. I'll say it like this. When I go to my kid, like when we watching the game and we up like by 30 and then we end up losing by 15, I go to my kid and I say, look, son, one day, it might not be in my lifetime, but one day they're going to win the Super Bowl. So guaranteed. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at.
I agree with that. Because I know for me, it's got to happen. Because I know for, my favorite baseball team is the Orioles. And all I can remember since I've been started watching baseball, we've just been a mediocre baseball team. Like I've only seen really one true winning season. That was 2012, 2013. And ever since then, we've just been just in the tankathon. Like the team, I believe they won a World Series. Like my dad, he got to see the win all the time when he was growing up. Me, I gotta watch mediocrity. So it'll happen.
It's tough. It's tough to sit there and watch, man. It's tough.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tough.
Like, have you seen? I'm not sure if you've seen my mood on some of these episodes talking about the Orioles. Like I think one game we lost like 13-1, and then I think we were like on a 19-game losing streak. Like nobody wants to see that. But this is good, Nate. I would love to see you continue to interview more YouTubers. Who's next? Ooh, wow. That's a good question.
Abdul-Jabbar. Didn't you? Hey, look, you got Kareem coming up. Kareem
Abdul-Jabbar. Oh my gosh, it's going to be hard to reach out to him.
I got a question. How did you feel when I said that was your daddy in that line?
I was in tears cracking up. I was in tears laughing.
I just didn't know nobody was listening that hard, bro. Lee had me in tears, bro. I was cracking up. That was too funny, man.
That was good. You guys actually had made my day that day because I was like literally like it was just really a rough day at work. It was just not feeling it, and I was like, you know what? I see that Hendrix is on here, and y'all really like made made my night with that. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Somebody said, "Hey, what your daddy doing?" You like what? These people have me cracking up, bro.
No, I didn't say. I have some ideas, Michelle. I have some ideas. There are some YouTubers.
No.
I'm not just joking.
Have you been reaching out to more? Like, have you reached out to anybody you waiting on? Like somebody that you just like, ooh, maybe if I say your name enough, you'll come up.
Yeah, there is one YouTuber. I kid you not, I used to be in high school. My favorite subject was history. And there's this YouTuber. He's really nice. I reached out to him a couple times. I actually emailed him again today to follow up. So I'm hoping, crossing fingers, I can get him on here. He emailed me. He wanted to do something, but he was going on vacation. So I'm still waiting to hear from him. But I definitely do have a few other YouTubers and on my list.
Look at that.
What about the Detroit Tigers? They actually have a good little season this year.
Yeah, that's still they were disappointing to me.
Disappointing?
Yeah.
You think Miguel Cabrera will come back next year and get 3,000?
I think that let me just talk about Detroit as a whole. Okay. I will answer. I'm just gonna say we're gonna manifest that. We're gonna manifest every bit of that. Okay. But Detroit as a whole, we can't even talk smack on hockey no more. Like we used to, that was the one thing we had going. No matter what went down, the Red Wings, you couldn't be messed with. Now even that is just like we can't even sit here and talk smack about the Stanley Cup. Like I don't even know what is going on. But when you think about it, we're not really that market to where now that it's really a players, like, cause I don't know. What do you feel about it being a player's market? I will ask you that because really, when you think about it, if you had the choice to come to Detroit or LA, I'm picking LA. Like I live 60 minutes from Detroit and I pick LA. You know, so it's like if you had that choice, what do you pick? Or if you have whatever. So it makes it to where like these smaller whatever, these smaller, I guess, considered markets for whatever, just really aren't even able to take off because they're not as good. But then again, you think about Green Bay or you think about like random places like these and you're like, how are these places taking off? Like, so I don't know. It's just
right.
But the Tigers, I don't really follow baseball as much, but I will say we've always been able to look at the Tigers. We got the new stadium, and we always be able to look at the Red Wings because they've always been reliable. When the Pistons won, that was numbered, like when the Pistons won the championship, Chauncey Billups and them was there. That was the number one, like for years we was talking about it. I'll still talk about it today like it was yesterday because we was in the car listening to it, snatching your Detroit car. See what had happened? Yes, Detroit. I'm a Detroit. But with it, you know, it's a lot of stuff. It's just a lot we got to do, Constanetta. I'm gonna be honest. We can cheer, we can do all we want. I can get Lion season tickets for how much right now? You know what I mean? Like it just makes no sense to me. Right. How can I get Lion season tickets for $2,200? That makes no sense to me at all. So, in a good seat. So we got to do more. We got to whatever, but it's just the market. Everybody act like whatever, but it is what it is. Somebody come to y'all. Somebody come to you today, Nate, and say, I want to offer you a show, but I want to offer it to you in Detroit or LA. Which one you pick?
Well, I look at it like this. For example, with the NBA, your home team will actually pay you more money. They can give you the max. Like, for example, Anthony Davis could have stayed in New Orleans.
I'll do that.
I think they would have paid more than what he was going to get on the market. Right. But, you know, he's with that Rich Paul group, and they bother me. They bully teams to trade their guys where they want to.
For the super and those money.
Yes.
But then
So
it's more in the end though, to me, I don't know. Do you think it balances out? Because if
no,
you
because I think it actually hurts. For example, Miguel Cabrera signed that mega contract. Yes, the Tigers have had winning seasons, but they're not going anywhere. The Angels in Anaheim, California, they gave Albert Pujols a fat 10-year deal, like $200 something million. They just cut him last year, and they have to pay $30 million. Oh yeah, one more year left on the contract, and they're not winning. So like when I look at it like this, guys have to look at one, not just the city. Like LA is great, but if I want to join the Lakers, okay, I need to know like LeBron. Okay, I'm playing with LeBron, Anthony Davis, but if Anthony Davis and LeBron goes down, who else is on that roster? Exactly. So like you gotta know like the team, you know, who else are they going after? Because if you're just gonna sign with a team like that, be prepared like to be the guy. Because there's some guys that take fat contracts, they get paid, and they're not that guy. Because some guys, when you go to a market like New York, LA, you're expected to perform to a certain standard. Like Matthew Stafford, you know, was traded from Detroit to Los Angeles, and the Rams got their ass kicked, which is. I'll talk about that in episode 12, ladies and gentlemen.
It's hard, but Matt been over there killing it too. In comparison to what he did before.
But also too, like I think it also depends on what is around you, the talent. I mean, I know he had Megatron, I know he had Pettigrew. They had some decent pieces. It's just what's around you. Now the small market teams, like it's tough for them because they have like this 3 to 5 year window of winning. So you've got to have a minor league system, like for example, baseball, minor league system, football. You know, you got to have the right group of talent because when you look at a team like the Minnesota Twins, okay, no, Kansas City Chiefs, no, Kansas City Royals. I'm sorry. Like they're in rebuilding mode, but they're actually going towards winning because they won a championship in their window. But it's hard because because then guys start looking for money. Like you can't pay everybody, and then free agency really does hurt all sports, in my opinion. Like we might see our first $300 million baseball player. You already seen what Patrick Mahomes got his first $500 million contract, and we're seeing how that's looking. So
Odell. I mean, when you really think about it.
But it actually kind of hurts because, you know, I mean, Patrick Mahomes can get that money, but not performing and he's not performing. They're either going to have to take a pay cut because our salary cap is kind of at the red, like the New Orleans Saints, for example. Because it's tough.
What do you think about Odell when all that comes into play? Because like when Stephen A was talking, and even Colin was saying he don't really see, like he sees, and you know, he sees where, you know, people can end up and he sees, you know, whatever. But just as far as the whole situation in itself, you're one of the top rated or whatever, and then Baker just ain't getting it right to you. I mean, in a sense, to me though, I'm gonna be honest with you. The other receivers was catching the ball to me. So I don't know what do you think about the whole situation as a whole? I'll just say that.
I think when you're on a team, roles have to be defined. You know, really, Odell is a great wide receiver, but he can be a little bit of a prima donna.
He's really not a threat.
He's not like. He's a good route runner, but he's not a number one wide receiver. Like Jarvis Landry to me is the number one wide receiver. Odell's number 2. Like I think his dad making that video, I think was he directed his energy at the wrong guy. Directed at Kevin Stefanski and the coaching staff.
Right.
Because they're the ones drawing those plays up. And also too, Cleveland was not what we thought they were. They surprised us when they kicked they beat Pittsburgh for sure. But I think also too, Odell's missed a lot of games, injuries. And when you're like on a wide receiver at his age, those are things that teams are starting to see. Like no one even made a trade offer for him. So that says more. I think that says more about Odell, but I think he'll be on the team. I think he can contribute to an NFL roster for sure. But I think how the whole situation was messy. I think they should have found something for him. I mean, they won today, but I think it's just when you don't have a defined role in the team. Mm-hmm. I think also two egos that aren't checked, at the door, that creates problems. Mm-hmm. That's for everybody. So, Ren Rock, Hendrix, do you think you'll ever be tired of doing comedy, or is it just in your DNA?
Say it again.
Do you think you'll ever be tired of doing comedy, or is it just in your DNA?
It's just in my DNA. It's just in my DNA. It ain't nothing. Everywhere I go, I gotta have a smile come out of whatever. So it's in my blood, man. It's in my blood.
Loyalty, the word for today. I get disappointed, but what goes on in the house stays in the house. What team across the board is always winning?
Castaneda, don't tell nobody, okay? You know I got the jersey in the closet.
Nathan, do you think the Lakers can make a championship run with their current roster? They have a lot of vets and some very injury-prone players. Lady Shay, no, I do not. I don't think. Well, number one, they great on paper. That looks like something you would see on 2K.
Right.
I just don't think it's going to work. Not with the makeup of this team. Like this is just like, okay, we need to sign this guy to fill roster spots. Like again, roles have to be defined. LeBron's not on. Like I think LeBron is not with injuries, but he's 37 to be 38. He's getting older, so he's listening to his body. Like Russell Westbrook, he's still adjusting to not only LA, but he's adjusting to the new system. So he's going to need a few more games to adjust. But
a few more?
Yeah.
He's shooting the 14% 3-point in a.
Yeah. You have to give him time to adjust. Would you expect Kate? Look, great example. Kate Cunningham, I think, has only made one 3-pointer up until Friday night.
Yeah, as a rookie style. I don't know. Adjusting is different, but when you got a different style like he's got, I just don't think his style fits, to be honest with you. There's certain styles that just don't fit with certain whatever. At first I thought it was a good idea, like you said, because it looks stacked, but I don't know. You don't think, I think his style is just different. He has a more aggressive style of play. Right. He has a more stat line style of play. Like, it's just.
Lucinda's already in the comments saying the Warriors will take the championship.
Oh, here she go.
Hendrix, do you ever wake up in the morning and say, I'm not going to be funny at all today?
I try. I really have tried that. It didn't work.
Oh, I got to sneeze.
Okay. I have tried.
Hendrix, have you ever thought about quitting YouTube and thought about your true supporters and changed your mind?
I really have. Even when a lot of the drama, just a lot of random stuff goes on, I think most of us do it when you get that first hiccup, you get that first kind of doubt. Because when things take off, it gets good. You hit that first 100, it gets good. You hit that first 500, it gets good. So when you get these milestones, it feels good. But then when you get that one, whatever, it just kind of pushes you back. And I think that's most people with most situations. But
Sure.
I have had a time, where I was like, man, I don't feel like doing this because I really don't, as far as YouTube don't pay my bills. So when I do this, I get a little bit of pocket change and I can do whatever, which, like I said, I would go full time if it made, if it was able to take over what I'm doing in the studio. Oh, definitely. But no, I just remember one time I was like, hey, it is what it is. I don't need the drama in my life, whatever. And, I talked to Pina was one of the people I probably talked to at the time. But, it's just certain people that I talked to, certain supporters where I went live. I went to talk about whatever, and I couldn't even talk about this. Like, now we over here talking about frog legs. Now I got to do a video about frog leg, So these different things to where my people, where y'all have brought me back into, like, being like, bro, you don't even got to focus on that. Keep doing you. We here. Like, the support going to be support. Keep doing what you do. Keep being positive, and the love going to fall.
And it's actually funny. I think you answered his next question. If someone was talking about quitting YouTube, what advice would you convince him to push forward?
Keep going, because the thing is, and what I had to realize is, with people that want to watch mess, there's certain people. There are going to be, what's going on, Renan family and the live. There's certain people that want to see mess. Like, that's what they're here for. There's certain people that don't. There's certain people that want to hear a little bit of mess. Like, but you got to realize what sector you're in. Like, where you're bringing, where your fans, or not your fans, where your subscribers come from. Hell, you might have fans. Where your fans come from if you got them, So you realize where these people are coming from. If you're not positioning yourself to be in the right way, like if you're not doing sports videos, it ain't no way you're going to end up in the sports sector. There's no way you're going to end up talking to people about sports. Like if you talking about, if you in the Be-Love sector talking just about this, so you would never learn.
K-Tay, what's going on?
What's going on, K-Tay? So you would never meet these different people if you didn't do something different. So
right, for sure.
If you ever thought about quitting, or if you ever, even if you want to think about starting up, it's like, think about what you could do, come up with a few different plans or a few different angles, but try everything, because everything might hit. Like some stuff might not hit. I did a reaction video and people don't even remember it. I did one and I was doing comedy reactions to funny videos. I only got 52 views on that video. Everything around it, 600, 52, 600. At the time, I was just getting a lot of views. So I was being consistent and I was on every day, but that's another thing. If you're consistent and you on every day, you see those numbers because people come, people watch your old stuff. People come, people watch your old stuff. So
Hendrix keeps laughing and smiling every day because you never know when someone at the end of the rope and your laughter and that joke might keep someone from holding over. I agree with that, Constantine. I definitely agree with that.
That's how I live life. And you never know. I don't live it to judge
holding
people.
on.
So,
like, if you don't mind me asking, like, when you, how did you, like, what made you, in the midst of all that drama, what made you say, okay, you know what, I have to get back on YouTube and, do what I love to do. That's make people laugh, make people want to come to your channel. Like, how, like, what made you, how did you handle all that?
It's kind of, I guess human nature tells you that you ain't never gonna let nobody see you run away from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't never, it ain't in the Hendrix blood to let nobody, you ain't about to get ran off of nothing. I don't care what you do. If I can't fix the car, it's gonna be fixed. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be fixed my way, because I'm a Leo and that's how I work in the Hendrix side. But that duct tape gonna hold that tire together till it pops. But really, that's just how I am in real life. It's just, you can't focus on the negative stuff. When you realize the people that watch you don't even watch the negative stuff, it's like nobody that I know watches this. Like besides people that are reporting, you know what I'm saying? But like, hey, you might want to go watch such and such. If I don't watch it and if they ain't watching it, nobody's watching. Like, we over here talking about frog legs. So once I got to that point where I realized that, and then the number one thing, the supporters never went anywhere. So when it came down to it, I had 1640 before I made that video that day. I made that video when I got off that live that night. I had 17, or what did I have? Or excuse me, I had, it was 1640, and I hopped on. I had 1745 that night. Like it's like it was like 100 something people came and subscribed to my channel within the next few days or whatever it was, you know. And then all of this stuff persisted, and and you see the number going up and down and up and down, and I'm like, this is weird, you know. But at one point, I remember everything just stopped, and when I stopped, everything just kind of shut down. So I just saw all these people go down, and I was like, okay. When I'm looking at it, I got like 1,680 people here. Like, so the people, like, I don't have no drama. So the people that's in my chat, I have no drama. I don't have whatever. I've weeded out all the BS. I don't get all the random comments on my videos. So I know that these people are gone. So this only got to be support. So then I kept doing videos. And then even if I would say something about it, like I made a video the other day saying something, you know, just addressing drama. But with it, I didn't even have to, you know, but with it, I didn't lose nobody. I gained 3 subscribers. So it's like when you realize, first off, where you're at. Because if I was in another sector and it wasn't about drama and it was about painting, I could have lost everybody in the same sense too, you know. But once I realized that my supporters want to see me and my light, are there to see me, you know, smile and not see me do this and that and see me go in, it became a different day. You know, that let me know for sure.
For sure. So that kind of was my next, was kind of one of my questions. So like for someone like myself who's still young in this YouTube, what would you say would be the best thing? Like, how would you handle haters, trolls? Like what advice would you give to someone like me or someone starting a YouTube channel? Like, what would it?
Bro, somebody had to tell me this, and this is actually another person that helped me get back on to the thing, because I'm like, I just don't get it. Everywhere I turn, my name. Like, I was like, when I logged on, if you hashtag CLH, everything pop up. Everything. I'm like, I don't even hashtag my own videos. Like, so it's just stuff from other. I'm like, I'm seeing stuff from people I don't even know. Like, they making videos. Like, they just talking about it. It ain't good or bad. Like, they said, man, bro, you a celebrity. This coming from a lady I talked to, but she was like, yeah, because you a celebrity. She like, you a little YouTube celebrity. And like I said, I'm humble. But when I heard it, it just kind of made me smile in a sense, because I had to realize, I'm like, well, damn, like these people making me more of a celebrity than I ever made myself. Right. So when you think about it, bro, you have people. This is just honest, bro, even for your chats. You got somebody that came in here with your picture that said, I've been watching Nathan Snell since season 1. That was your name on a profile. And you got blocked. So when you think about it, you have a whole email address that you created that you no longer can even use over here, but you created for that purpose. So what do you do after, like, you know what I mean? So when you think about it, bro, you could say, man, this is some BS. People keep doing this and that, but it's like somebody really went through the trouble. Like, bro, you really went in someone's mind that far to where they say, you know what? I'm gonna create a channel about this dude. And it's like when you, bro, I had somebody that's got a channel named Chip's Wig is whatever. I was like, who made a channel about Chip's Wig? It don't make no sense. But when you think about it, bro, it's all, any publicity is good publicity. The haters, the naysayers is good publicity, because people that don't know you want to know what they're talking about, you know, half of the time. And then once they realize that half of this other stuff on the other side is BS, they want to see what the good stuff is half of the time, you know. So the haters, the naysayers, even the people that do whatever and go out of their way to make channels about us and channel names with our pictures and all that other stuff, we appreciate you. That's how we keep pushing. Because when you don't see that, that's when you know you're born. You're born. But when I see somebody purposely keep coming back in here, whether it's them or someone else, because you can't create that many emails, bro. I'm just going to be honest with you. And when you see that, that means that somebody's coming over here and noticing whatever. Nobody just drops that if they don't think nobody else is watching. Are you seeing what I mean? Like, nobody drops a webcam for one person. It doesn't make sense.
but they know people coming back and watching that live chat. They know that people are doing, you know what I'm saying? So these things, bro, it's all publicity, bro. It's really all publicity. It ain't nothing you can do but sit back, deal with it, wave it off because you have more support than you do hate.
That's a really good way of looking at it. It was kind of weird, because I was like, oh, okay, someone really would, really do that.
It was, I get it, bro.
Okay.
And I was watching. I was sitting there and I said, and I screenshot it and sent it to Bay. I said, look at this right here. Nothing to do, but I said it on my channel the other day, bro. I said, someone y'all never talk about. I said, everybody talks about being trolled, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I said, one Nathan Snells, y'all don't ever talk about. That's the most. And I said, not whatever, but as far as in this sector, y'all haven't seen trolls. I said, he be pushing through his shows. He pushed through. I'm like, in just the whatever. And that lets you know where people's focus are. Like, people trying to throw you off your game so much that this is what they do. You know what I mean? But even now, you got how many people in your chat, how many whatever. So the good outweighs the bad. It's just
for sure.
It's wild, man. But you will always, no matter where you go, you always gonna have a heck. Before I get on stage, it's always somebody that go, you better be funny. Like, what? Who told you I wasn't? Like, what made you say that? That's weird. That's a weird comment.
But actually, it's kind of ignorant. Like,
it's weird.
Like, you paid to, like, okay, I'm paid for this show. I'm here to have a good time.
Right.
I'm not here to be a critic. Come on.
It's like going to a restaurant and saying, this food better be good. Like,
exactly.
What? Like, I hope so.
Or going to this grocery store, well, they better have the right milk and eggs.
If they ain't white, large, double A's, I don't want them.
Yes, you have some serious trolls, but still be pushing elbow golf. Yeah, I do. I do. It's kind of. I feel like the person. I think it's one person that's doing it. I'm not going to come to that assumption because it only happens when I go live, like on the weekends. Like during the week, don't see it. Like I'm thinking, I got a couple mods in here, and there was one. I don't know where they come from, and even on one of my friend's channel, Sean Spencer, he gets the same comments like that. I think that's more of a YouTube thing. You take that like you said, you would take time to make that kind of email.
Exactly,
and that's crazy. That's crazy. But let me just
go and find my picture just to do that.
Exactly. Let me just ask this two more questions. This is two more questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. And in the midst of prayer helps, exactly, definitely, I agree. Mm-hmm. In the midst of that drama, did you ever hash it out, or is it like, or have you just left it and moved forward?
Kind of left it and moved forward. To be honest, some stuff can be resolved, but once things go to a certain level, then they can't be. Because I'm being honest, I'm petty. I'm gonna be really. I'm a petty person. So in my mind, and this is just with anything, if I can imagine me being around you and hurting you, then I can't hash anything out because I'm gonna be petty. Like you gonna call me. Like if I'm still having devious thoughts about doing stuff, like. I notice your channel, but if I'm still having devious thoughts about doing stuff, like having somebody drop poop on your porch and light it on fire every morning, that different type of stuff, like the pettier I go, if I'm still doing that, I can't be around you because you're going to call, you're going to be like, hey, let's hash it out. I'm like, okay, come on over. And right when I see you, I'm going to be like, so I don't think that, a lot of this stuff is anything, or a situation that anybody will ever be able to reconcile and that I'll be able to talk to, whatever. I can talk to God about that in my after, once I'm up there.
Sure.
But, that's just one of them things. It's no love lost, to be honest with you. It is what it is.
For sure. Are there any questions that I did miss? Can you please put them in the chat, and we'll make sure that they're answered before we end the podcast.
Tell them that save it for episode 12. See, that's what you gotta do, Nate. You told me to come back.
I believe most of them we've answered all of them. I'm just looking through the chat right now.
I'm looking too.
That wasn't like that was like those last question. We answered that one.
You ever wake up in the morning and something gonna be funny?
Yeah, we answered that one.
We talked about LA, so yeah.
At 8:47. This question, Hendrix, have you ever thought about quitting YouTube and thought about your true supporters and changed your mind? Is that the question?
Yeah, I answered that, Peanut. Where you go? Where did you go, Peanut?
Yeah, I think we get that question. Yeah, that question was answered.
Yeah, we answered that one.
But
Peanut went to the bathroom and came back talking about some we ain't answered his question. Hey, wait a minute. They ain't gonna say you heard me. Ain't that? Wait a minute. But to reiterate off of that, yes, I do, and I've had people that have helped me and they've supported me as far as when you want to quit or when you whatever, and that's like anybody in your life. The people that you surround yourself with always have positive people in your life, because the people that I got in my life wouldn't let me quit. And that's just real talk. Subscribers I have on my channel wouldn't let me quit. Like I would have videos where I would go like days and they'd be like, hey, you coming back? This is a cool video. Can't wait for the next one. And then the positivity is just like crazy. So whether if you got one person that's watching your stuff and you don't know who that is, you doing something already. So it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. You're doing something. You have somebody that's watching your content. You have a purpose for someone right there. You see what I mean?
Yeah. You can forgive someone, but that doesn't mean you have to engage with that person or party anymore. Hope for the best and move on. Absolutely. I agree. 1,000%.
Forgiveness is hard though, because that's actually something you have to do as well.
Thank you, Listen. I appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, it's hard, you just gotta wish them nothing but the best. Yeah, it's a job for me keeping him others inspired.
Yeah, we got stuff bragging.
And it actually ties in.
Let me show you. This is Lucinda right here. Can I show you something? This is what she talking about. Hold on, I'll take you with me real quick. Real quick, y'all take a quick trip through my house. Okay. So actually I'll take all of this. This is actually stuff inspired by y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it back over here. I could have just not took my laptop and walked over here, but I didn't want to not be on the stream. Did that make sense? Okay. But anyway, so the body butters, this is Sophie's Miracles right there. This was influence, you know what I'm saying? I got my boo and a few of y'all on here. So with the body butter that we made, and this right here, my new little scent, my oatmeal. Actually, I got a better little, my oatmeal milk and honey bath bombs. These was inspired by Lucinda. So, we were already doing, I had different stuff that I do. I do different mixes and stuff that I come up with. But she was like, hey, I like this one scent and whatever. So I decided to try that, and that actually took off. So I got a lot of different stuff I do. I do little containers and all type of different stuff with it. But, even shower steamers and all that different type of stuff. So
nice.
It's all inspired, but it all keeps going because of, people like y'all, the supporters, the people that's there, the people that's telling you whether it's good, the people that's not. And I have more people that I don't know that support me, as far as that I haven't known, that I haven't met or that I haven't whatever, or that have reached me or that have searched for me than I've ever had in my life from the place where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like, you just generally sometimes where you at, you might not get whatever.
Right. I agree with that. Last question of the episode. Message to those that aspire to be great. I mean, aspire to, like, what would your message be?
I would say keep your head up. I mean, the only thing you can do is keep pushing.
Yeah, bro.
Waiting on the darn website so I can order the G's. All right, look, got a nice little box for it right there. Nate, look at that. Nice little box. But with it, I would say keep your head up. It's always something, like I said, if you got that one person that's in the chat watching, if you got, if as long as you're not talking to a wall, you're doing something, if that makes sense. Like, your presence is always wanted somewhere, whether you like it or not. Like, someone always loves your presence. Someone always is, it changes something for somebody's day, because one day somebody might have thought about pulling the plug and all you did was hold the door open, and the whole time in their mind they said ain't no more nice people left in this world. The next thing that happens, and you held the door open for them and said, say, here you go, go on ahead, I got you. And that literally saved somebody from not doing something. So even with my kids, like I always tell my kids, I don't care who it is, I don't care what it is, and they live just like I do, bro. It's love, you live, we laugh, we love, and that's what everybody. If you aspire, keep your dreams, keep your head up, but always, keep everything towards the positive side. Love always wins. And
yeah, I agree with that. Hold the vision, trust the process. Don't let anyone take away your dreams of what you want to be. You want to be a police officer, you want to be a football player, do it. My parents always told me to be better than them. Go to school. Never settle where you're at in life. Know what your calling is. Just also too, I think having that support. I think when you have those that are around you that support you and push you to be great and better than what than where you are, I think things open up for you. Also too, knowing your worth. I think that's very important. I think sometimes in my opinion, as a society, I think we forget that at times, what our worth is. And I think it starts with, for me, this is just me. It starts with prayer. Even starting with creating a vision board, something where that you see that board every day, and you're going to, okay, this is what I'm accomplished. Start with the smaller goals. The big goals are great to accomplish, but you have 5-6 small goals. They always will help the big goal be accomplished. So think, be better. Be better. Smart goals. Exactly. Attainable goals. There you go. Okay. Let's see. I enjoyed the live. Positive vibes. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Yep. This live has been so refreshing. Thank you, VT. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ken. Chatting comments. I appreciate you.
Great job,
Nathan. It was fun. Most of our informative. Thank you for allowing me to attend. You heard me. No problem, Peanut. Anytime. Anything worth working for. Absolutely. Yes.
Very refreshing. Appreciate all of y'all for tuning in today. Man.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you, Michelle. You have a great night. Nathan Snell, next podcast is on mental health with Peanut, chatting, Mackie, Hendrix, VT, etc.
Yeah.
I'm down for that.
All right.
I enjoyed the live, Nathan. Keep pushing forward. I appreciate you. Thank you. This live was brought to you by Chip and Gumbo's Day-to-Day Creole Season.
If you're at the barbecue and you ain't got no reasoning, make sure you hit Peanut up for some of that day-to-day season. I don't know, drop my teeth.
All right, so Really quick, episode 12. This was kind of an ugly week for week 9 of the NFL. We still got the Monday Night Football game. The Rams got their ass kicked by Tennessee.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
So, just be tuned in for episode 12. Thank you, Hendrix, for joining me, taking the time out of your day. I appreciate you. I left his YouTube channel in the description below. Check him out. Subscribe to his channel. Great content creator. Very funny. That headed cheese. Was that actual cheese?
Yeah, that's cheese. Hog head cheese.
Interesting. That's it.
They say it's good with Ritz crackers.
I have heard that.
Mm.
I have heard that. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for episode 11. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Please consider hitting that subscribe button along with notification bells on. Thank you to those that shared the podcast. Much appreciated. And again, Hendrix's YouTube channel is in the description below. In the meantime, have a good week. Hope everybody has a good work week. We're almost, I'm glad we get an hour of sleep back. Clocks went back if you forgot to turn your clocks back. So everybody gets an extra hour of sleep. So with that being said, we're out. Stay up, y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
First of all, listen, it's interesting about all these young guys today. They never call on us and say, hey, thanks for the kind word and telling me how great a player I am. But when they play like crap and we call them out, we don't know what we're talking about. Listen, I'm easy to find, but listen, I'm going to criticize guys that they deserve it. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.